We're talking the 2025 FIFA Club World Cup, not to be confused with the actual World Cup in 2026, but it's going to be in the United States, played at stadiums. We're going to have like quite a few teams here. You know, United not part of it. We did not qualify for the Club World
Cup.
Cool
with that.
But you got the likes of Real Madrid, Inter Milan, you know, somehow Inter Miami is involved, Chelsea, Dortmund, Boca Juniors, Bayern Munich, PSG, Porto, City,
Real Madrid.
Juve. You got the teams from the Gulf.
Bayern.
It looks like the Seattle Sounders involved as well.
Sounders.
Look, there's a lot of controversy around the Club World Cup. A lot of issues. FIFA's kind of ramming this down the club's throats. There's already too many games in football. We've discussed this quite a bit. But because it's going to be in the United States, what is it? Next summer already, this is kind of the preview to the World Cup. Just starting off the bat, the Club World Cup United have featured and have won, but it was something much different. It wasn't, was it not the Club World Cup? It's like with the private clubs.
Yeah.
FIFA,
something.
it's like the winner of each Champions League plays somewhere.
Not the Super Cup.
Super Cup. That's
Super
what I'm
Cup.
talking
It was
about.
one game, and now it's some fucking bullshit tournament.
No, but it was like a few games. It's a tournament of every team that's won every Champions League around the world, and they play. So that's Super Cup, right? We'll call that. So I guess this is now the Club World Cup. But that was traditionally what was known as, you know, when you get the World Cup badge on the jersey as a club, that represent the best club in the world, right? So now this is going to replace that format and then make it every 4 years or 2 years for FIFA, make more money, etc. How do you feel about the idea of this? Like we've seen it in the past as United, you win the Champions League, everyone's buzzing, and then you go play this obscure tournament against some Saudi team, and then you win this other trophy that no one cares about. At least that's the way it felt at the time.
I mean, that seems to have more merit because you won something, and by winning it, you got to go to this like exclusive competition with a couple games, and you win something else. And you know, I can get the merit of that. At this point, it's like the most shamelessly corrupt institution that exists in sport, which is FIFA. Like no cash grab that they're unwilling to reach their arm out and take every single dollar of it. It's like, it's not surprising. I mean, we saw a World Cup in Qatar that's being followed up by another World Cup like next door in Saudi Arabia. So it's like this, they've shown that all they care about is money. They're going to have a tournament every single summer, but it'll end up being like it used to be the Euros and the World Cup, and now it'll be every summer, and then eventually it'll be every waking moment. There's just going to be as many fucking football games rammed down your throats as possible. And I don't think the new Champions League format is better. I think it's worse. I think it's taken the fun out of it, the home and away in the group stage. I don't think this is going to be some great success. I think people are going to be like, what the fuck is this? I think Americans especially are going to be like, what is this? Is this the World Cup this year? Like, they're going to be a lot of confusion. They're going to be so confused. Because guess what? We have a pod, and I'm kind of confused. So it's like, all it's going to do is confuse people before the real World Cup in America. It'll probably be a bit of a mess because it doesn't have the same focus and concentration as the regular World Cup, which I think we'll nail in 26. And I just don't need more football, bro. Like, I'm good. We got enough.
So
I'm good.
So number one, I looked it up. We have won the FIFA Club World Cup. I was right. We won it in 2008. Like, that's when you go and you play that tournament. I think it was maybe like 4 teams at the time. It turned into 8. And then that's when we got the gold badge. We won it once in 2008. We also won the Intercontinental Cup. That's like the other worldwide competition we won. That was in 99.
That was back in the day, right?
So it was Intercontinental, then it changed to the FIFA Club World Cup. That format of like the winner of all the Champions Leagues playing is now turning into this. And so I'm actually interested in this. Like, why not? Like I think the World Cup should be replace the Euros. It should be every 2 years. Like I'm definitely
I'm open to that. I'm more open to that.
I'm very into the like the world nature of football should be celebrated, and to have like the international one is great, but then to have this, I do like it. But it's just time will tell. I'm sure there's gonna be stadium issues. Look, the crisis is the broadcast deals are falling through for this.
Yeah, nobody cares.
Like they were going to try to get it on Apple. That fell through. So they're having emergency meetings about the TV rights. I mean, look, this is going to be in 9 months. So this is already a disaster. But I also feel like every FIFA event is going to be a disaster until it happens, until it isn't. Yeah. And if you're going to tell me I could watch Bayern play Boca Juniors, like I think that's pretty cool. Like, especially like you have the South American versus the European connect. Anytime you could get the melting pot of global football in together is good. But then you also have the FIFA. Like, FIFA's not a very nice institution. They have mandates. The club must field the strongest teams. They have to play their good players. They're going to have a fine for, about £500,000 for any club that withdraws. Owners, like, there's conflicts for owners, and players can only play for one team, right? So, I mean, like, there's FIFA's hands are all over this. Also, somehow Inter Miami qualified despite them getting knocked out of the MLS Cup because Messi on TV playing football will make more money, just showing like the fact that you argued that they are just a moneymaker. Also goes and feeds conspiracies into why I think Argentina was helped to win the World Cup when we went in 2022. There's so many calls that the refs had that went their way. On the way, they did do it. It was an amazing final, but I just felt there was like wind in their sails, and FIFA just has that. It's an industry, right? And then they want Messi to be a part of it, and they want to make more money.
Well, they're shameless, and they don't have a bottom now. Because at the end of the day, it's like my first World Cup was 2014 World Cup with this guy next to me, and that was in Brazil, and that made me like really fall in love with the World Cup. I was already in love with football, but really get into. And then you go to the Qatar World Cup, and it's like, yeah. So they really only care about money, because you go from Brazil, which is like an unbelievable country with a huge fucking 200 million people almost, and a deep footballing culture, and also a deep actual culture. And then you go to Qatar, and it's a challenge. So I think like this is going to be a challenge for folks. I think it's not surprising that nobody's going to pick it up. I'm sure they expected huge money from Apple to be like, yeah, pay us billions of dollars, and 70% of what the World Cup goes for. And I don't think this is basically glorified friendlies. I don't think it matters. I don't think anyone's going to care. And I think it'll get more bad publicity than good.
If United was in it, I wouldn't mind.
United's not in it, so I don't give a shit.
Well, it's because since it's the summer, players can't play for different teams because there's gonna be transfer stuff like that, right? So it'd be kind of like a real or maybe a better preseason. So I don't know. I would take it if United were in it. We're gonna keep you posted on the Club World Cup and all the shenanigans that FIFA are up to. We are the American Red Devils. Please like and subscribe below. Only 50% of those watching the videos actually subscribe. So like, subscribe, help the algorithm, and we'll get you some more American Red Devils fan content shortly.